A man kills his wife. Years later, people worship him as a god. Sounds strange, right? Let me get this straight, no bullshit. How does a wife killer become a god? Come, let's travel into one of the strangest stories preserved in Tamil folklore. And remember, by the end of this video, you will realize this story was never really about religion or gods. Several centuries ago, in Kalakkadu, southern Tamil Nadu, a boy named Andhiramudaiyar was born. Unlike most people around him, he cared little for farming. He loved weapons. He trained relentlessly and became a feared warrior, especially with the Urumi, a flexible sword that could become a whirlwind of steel in skilled hands. His strength earned him respect. His temper earned fear. Eventually, he became the village headman. Everything seemed perfect until one terrible mistake destroyed it all. After marriage, tensions slowly grew between Andhiramudaiyar and his new wife. One evening, he returned from a hunting expedition and found his wife chatting and laughing with her friends instead of greeting him. Perhaps she meant no disrespect, but he felt humiliated. Consumed by anger, he hurled his iron fitted hunting sandals at her. The blow killed her instantly. Even his mother cried in horror. But Andhiramudaiyar showed no remorse. Fear spread through the village. Families left. Fields were abandoned. Soon an arrest order was issued. So Andhiramudaiyar fled. The powerful village leader became a wanderer. With no authority and nowhere to go, he eventually arrived in Valliyur. There he met a young woman named Chinnammal and desired to marry her. Her family rejected his marriage proposal due to caste divisions. Once again, humiliation turned him violent. Andhramudaiyar responded the only way he knew, through intimidation. Armed with his urumi, he forced the marriage and seized control of the local monastery. At this point, there is no reason to admire him. He was violent, arrogant, and dangerous. Then came the night that changed everything. On the night of his marriage, Valliyur awoke to chaos. A large band of robbers stormed the village. Homes were looted. Families hid in terror. No one dared resist. The village stood alone in fear. Now, there was only one man in Valliyur who truly understood violence. Andhiramudaiyar. He wasn't a saint, he wasn't a hero, but he was a warrior. While everyone else hid, he stepped forward, alone. The robbers expected frightened villagers. Instead, they found a master of the Urumi. Steel flashed through the darkness. The flexible blade became a storm. One man stood against an entire riding force. The same rage that had ruined his life now fueled the defense of an entire village. For hours the battle continued, and Valliyur survived. When dawn arrived, the robbers retreated. The village emerged from hiding, and there stood Andhiramudaiyar, wounded, exhausted, drowning in blood, but still standing. For the first time, the people saw him differently, not as a fugitive, not as a criminal, but as the man who saved them. Years passed. Andhiramudaiyar grew old and died, but Valliyur remembered his story. A hero stone was raised, offerings followed. Generation after generation paid their respects, and somehow along the way, Andhiramudaiyar ceased to be a man. He became a guardian, a protector, and a god. But wait, even after hearing all this, you may still find it difficult to accept a wife killer as a hero. After all, he was a murderer. What kind of a society would worship a man who killed his own wife? Even ancient Tamil tradition strongly condemned violence against women. The Sangam era anthology Kurundogai tells the story of a ruler named Nannan who killed a young woman for eating a mango that had floated downstream from his property. For this cruel act, Nannan was eventually defeated and killed by rival rulers, but still, Tamil poets condemned him with the phrase Penkolai Purinda Nannan, which means Nannan who committed the killing of a woman. If ancient Tamil society condemned violence against women so strongly, then how did it accept Andhiramudaiyar? How did a man who killed his wife become a deity? The answer lies in the real history of Tamil Nadu and its politics. During the 16th and 17th centuries, when Andhiramudaiyar is believed to have lived, Tamil Nadu was fractured by political instability. The Nayak era was in decline, and the British rule had yet to take hold. Theft, murder, and violence haunted everyday life. Villagers often stood alone, surrounded by fear and uncertainty. There were no police or emergency services like today for protection. So when danger came to Valliyur, only one man stood on his ground, Andhiramudaiyar. They did not forget his sins, they did not erase his past. Yet, what he did for the village was so extraordinary and essential to the survival. In their memory, he became the guardian, and perhaps that is why, centuries later, his name still lives on. For the people of Valliyur, it was never just the story of a man, it was the reason their bloodline survived. And somewhere between memory, gratitude, survival, and the love people felt for the man who protected them, Andhiramudaiyar became a god. Maybe that is what folklore really preserves. Not perfection, not morality, not even history. What it preserves is memory. The memory of those who stood between their people and fear. The memory of those who protected their communities when no one else could. And sometimes memories become legend, and legend becomes God. But if you think Tamil folklore is only about powerful men and their swords, you're mistaken. Among these stories are some truly badass women whose legends still refuse to die. And trust me, their stories are every bit as wild as this one. This is Permanent. Subscribe and stay tuned. We'll be exploring them very soon.